Welcome to the Daily Boogie.
Sheriff Israel may become the GOP's new favourite Democrat. Where's my... Oh, where's my Tapper clip? Where's my Tapper clip? Here we go. Okay. Now watch this and then I'll explain what's happening. Okay? I'll explain what the left does.
Are you really not taking any responsibility for the multiple red flags that were brought to the attention of the Broward?
Credit's got to go to Jake Tapper here. Again, if you don't watch CNN, you'll never pick up these little tidbits. Jake Tapper, like him or loathe him, he really grilled this sheriff. And I'm going to explain why when we get to it. So.
Sheriff's office about this shooter before the incident, whether it was people near him, close to him, calling the police on him.
Jake, I could only take responsibility for what I knew about. I exercised my due diligence. I've given amazing leadership to this.
I've given amazing leadership. The hubris. I can only take responsibility for what I knew about. Well, yes, that's true, but if you assume the title of elected sheriff, you know, to use a cliche, the buck stops with you, brother. The buck stops with you. Whether it's right or wrong. Right? Why do you think the coach gets sacked from a football team that's losing? He's not playing. He's not the one fumbling. He's not the one who missed the punt. He's not the one who missed the tackle. He's not the one who couldn't throw the pass. He's not the one who didn't block. He gets punted.
This agency,
amazing leadership.
I've worked... Yes, Jake. There's a lot of things we've done throughout this. This is you don't measure a person's leadership by a deputy not going into a. These deputies received the training they needed.
Maybe you measure somebody's leadership by whether or not they protect the community.
We since found out that the training that the deputies got was do not go into a hot area. Literally. The training that the deputies got was teach people to run and hide. We don't attack, we only defend.
In this case, you've listed 23 incidents before the shooting involving the shooter, and still nothing was done to keep guns out of his hands, to make sure that the school was protected, to make sure you were keeping an eye on him. Your deputy at the school failed. I don't understand how you can sit there and claim amazing leadership.
Jake, on 16 of those cases, our deputies did everything right. Our deputies have done amazing things. We've taken this, in the 5 years I've been sheriff, we've taken the Broward Sheriff's Office to a new level. I work with some of the bravest people I've ever met. One person, at this point, one person didn't do what he should have done.
It was 5.
It's horrific. The victims here, the families, I pray for them every night. It makes me sick to my stomach that we had a deputy that didn't go in, because I know if I
it was 4.
was there, if I was on that wall, I would have been the first then.
I think there are a lot.
Or the 5th.
I think there are a lot of people, sir, who think that there are a lot of mistakes other than that one deputy. Do you think that if the Broward Sheriff's Office had done things differently, this shooting...
See, Tapper's okay. Tapper's okay. Like, I disagree with him on fundamental issues a lot. But here he had the opportunity to put the Bunsen burner under the arse of this sheriff, and he did it. He did it. Even though the sheriff is parroting the same sort of rhetoric and talking points that Tapper would probably agree with, Tapper attacked him on fundamentals like doing your duty as the sheriff. So this is a rare moment of sunshine out of CNN. And this is why you shouldn't cut yourself off. Don't be a source Nazi. Every now and then.
Might not have happened.
Listen, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts,
General Eaton says Tapper has his moments.
O.J.
Exactly.
Simpson would still be in the record books.
I don't know what that means. There's 17 dead people, and there's a whole long list of things your department could have done differently.
How could listen? That's what after action reports are.
See, he had to check himself there. See, this guy, Scott Israel, it's pretty clear he has political aspirations. And, you know, that's fine. Like, I don't have anything against political aspirations if you want them. But right now, what we're seeing right now is Jake Tapper ending his political career, to put it bluntly. Jake Tapper is now putting the sword to Scott Israel and saying, you do not have a future political career. And if you just saw in that moment there, this sheriff was about to go like, how am I supposed to do? And then he checked himself. He's like, and then he reframed his answer. He reframed his response. Watch again.
Listen, that's what
I don't know what that means. There's 17 dead people, and there's a whole long list of things your department could have done differently.
How could listen?
See, how could I do anything? Wait, that's probably not good. Listen. And then he gives himself a couple of seconds of thinking time. Listen, and then he tries to move the discussion to a different level, because that's PR. That's PR. If they try and bring you down, you always try to talk above the person that you're talking to. Like, that's PR 101. If they want to drill down on you for one specific issue, you always try to make it about a bigger issue. There are 17 dead people here, Sheriff, and you didn't do X and X. How can I... what we're talking about here is a general concept of safety, and I pray for these people, and so on, right? PR 101.
That's what after action reports are. That's for lessons learned reports are for. I have entered into conversation with Chuck Wexler of the Police Executive Research Forum. They will be coming to town to do an independent after action lessons learned report. We understand everything wasn't done perfectly, and if it happened in Los Angeles,
an action report,
or Chicago, or any other city, every person wouldn't perform perfectly. That's not what happens.
Oh, so now we're admitting, human error. Oh, okay. That's funny. I just thought banning everything was the answer, Mr. Israel. Like he was saying at that meeting.
My husband and I both.
Like he was saying at that meeting, when he was up on stage with Dana Loesch, like, whether you agree or disagree with her, she's entirely fearless. She's fearless. Okay? And you should respect that. So, he was blaming the NRA for his shitty department's actions. You know, there's a train of thought here. Not every conspiracy, not every cover-up is an attempt to hide some grand scheme. This is a thought that was put forward by Matt Bracken, and if you don't know Matt Bracken, you should check him out. His website's enemiesforeignanddomestic.com. And his argument is, you know, most of the time when a cover-up occurs, it's because people are trying to cover up their own incompetence rather than some big conspiracy. And I tend to agree with that. Tend to agree. Here you have departmental incompetence, and a cover-up ensues, and you must not criticize, and you must do this, and no, these things didn't happen, and we won't release information. Yeah, they won't release information because it'll prove how shit they did their job. And you can't have that if you've got political aspirations. So it's just worth noting in the future, I think. Just worth noting. So, commentary. Why Sheriff Scott Israel may be the GOP's new favourite candidate. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's explain what Jake Tapper just did and why. Nancy Pelosi should watch out. This is on CBS News, by the way. The minority leader has a challenger for the GOP's role of favourite Democrat to vilify. Vilify. word used specifically. And his name is Scott Israel, Sheriff of Broward County. Following the shooting in Parkland, Florida, evidence has been mounting that he and his department likely blew more than one opportunity to stop the shooter from carrying out a rampage that cost the lives of 17 people. Among my Republican political consultant connections, the assumption has been that Nancy Pelosi's description of $1,000 bonuses as, quote, crumbs would be the gaffe the GOP dined out during the 2018 midterms. But Sheriff Israel has lately shown that he can combine all the elements that have made Pelosi the GOP's Democratic MVP: arrogance, extremism, and more than occasional verbal missteps, with a new, powerful ingredient: the ability to galvanize the GOP base on the issue of guns. What's happening here is this Democrat guy who's run as a Democrat multiple times. He's a mover and shaker within Democratic circles. They all love getting their picture taken with him. What's happening here is the left cutting loose someone who could damage them long term. Make no mistake about it. There were too many anomalies in this case. There was too much oversight error in his department. So the decision was made by the Democrats, and again, the leadership of the Democrats: don't let this guy in. We need to cut him loose. Jake Tapper goes hard, makes him look like a fool, and then all the liberal mainstream outlets are saying this is a disaster. He's the GOP's new favourite target. They've ended his political career because there's too much baggage. And that's what they'll do to you. If you're not a star performer, if you make one misstep, they'll slit your throat and let you bleed out in the political gutter. That's how they roll. It's ruthless. It's ruthless. But this guy's future political aspirations are now dashed. He won't get elected to any office, and the very same liberal media complex that he would have relied upon should he decide to run for office in the state of Florida will now turn against him.